Hey, everybody, welcome back to the Transition Masterclass. Today, I'm really excited. We're going to have Micah Taylor with us. Um, I met her through our SkillBridge community. She does a bunch of stuff helping soldiers and airmen and etc. transition. She does it using ChatGPT. I had her come speak to our SkillBridge sales platoon, and she did a phenomenal job. So I'm really excited today. We're going to ask a lot of questions of how to use AI to help you with your transition, and she's going to be the expert on that. So let me bring her in. Micah, thank you so much for joining us today. And I was just telling the group that I met you in our SkillBridge community Facebook group, and that you've come and spoke to my class. They got a lot out of it, and you're really one of the only people I see that's publicly posting about the use of AI in transition. Now, I do a segment in my skill bridge where I'm telling them to do this because I do mostly sales, and I think that AI is changing the way that sales is going to work.
Oh yeah.
Very much trying to tell them, get on the horse now. And so kind of tell me, how did you get started with AI? What was it that attracted you to it? And then the transition to how you're using it now to help people.
Yeah, absolutely. First, thank you so much for having me here. I'm super excited. I'm a big advocate for AI. Um, I really view AI as kind of like the internet. I'm super old, but I kind of was around when the internet really
I don't
started
think
to
so.
get to get really popular. And that was the age of information, right? So
Yeah.
and people were kind of disgruntled in the beginning if it was a generational thing with the internet. Just it'll never work, and you need to hand people your resumes, and that's how you get jobs. But nowadays, as we can see, like you cannot more than likely get a job without using the internet in some form, whether it's online applications for tracking, or really making sure you're the right fit for the job, or even networking through LinkedIn. And so now we've moved into the age of intelligence, and that's where AI is coming in. And it's not intelligence as far as human thinking is going. It's really intelligence as large language models, basically taking a lot of language and maneuvering it really fast to get results that we need. So
Super.
I'm an advocate for being on top of technology and making sure that you are ahead of the game, so you are hireable and you can speak well of what you're doing, even if it's in small increments. Having that general understanding really makes a big difference when it comes to pretty much all job markets right now with artificial intelligence. It's a really hot item. So
How did you
yeah.
get, like, what was it that caused you to dive as deep as you have? Like, I have my reasons. What was it for you? You're not in a sales role, you
No,
know.
not at all. I'm a person that really hungers for knowledge, and so I use Google Alerts, and I have
Okay.
them set up to really have alerts on a lot of different things. And I've done that for many, many years, probably all the way back to 2016, around there. And one of the alerts that kept showing up was HR, and so my alerts would start showing up the HR and AI and how that was changing the game. And I thought, man, I better get on this.
Okay.
uh, so, which was good. Within there, I was able to find free resources that really speak about AI. And one of the best ones I have is AI for Everyone. And so it really dives in through deep learning AI. They talk a lot about how to get used to it and what it is. It's a great free 4-week course. And from there, I was hooked. So I'm a person that really generates on curiosity. I don't really believe in like passion about things because that can get burnt out, but I really believe on staying curious. And this was one of the items that really made a big difference. And then I just started learning. I went to YouTube, which is such a great resource to try to figure out things. There's so many good experts out there,
Yeah.
and just started diving in. And then I learned how to create my own GPTs in order to work with my system, because I'm lazy. I like to make sure things are working because I want to do other stuff. And if someone else can do it or invent it or help me with it, I'm down for that. So I just go ahead. I'm just really honest with it. So it helps my workday every day to get products
Yeah.
out to my clients and make a difference. So
I for me, I had known that it was coming. I'd heard enough that I know it was coming. But in 21, maybe it was 22, It's like October 21 or 22. I don't
Yeah.
And I was listening to a clip of Jordan Peterson,
Mhm.
and Jordan Peterson had somehow managed to get beta before ChatGPT got put out live. So whatever
Nice.
year that was that it got put out live was either 23 or 22. And Jordan Peterson said this: he uploaded the Bible, and then he uploaded the Buddhist, um, whatever their religious writing is. And then
Yes.
he uploaded his 12 rules and said, I want you to make a 13th rule, and I want it in my style, but drawing on the Bible and Buddhism. And
Yes.
then when it was done, he could barely tell the difference between it and him. And
I
that's when
love
I
that.
started using it. I was like, oh,
You're like right here.
I
Yes.
was like, I better get on this. And so I've been using it ever since. And I, like you, I mean, I'm using it to build my entire business. So
Absolutely.
it does damn near everything for me. So
I love it so much. Well, and what I like is that I think we're at a point where we can identify verbiage that sounds human, and then we can identify verbiage that sounds AI. There's certain words that we just don't use in our daily life. Like I don't use fantastic all the time. You know, I use more like words like awesome and dude because
right,
I'm from the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles era. So they had a high influence. And so I think stepping back and putting the human back in AI, right? The human in the language is really going to make a big difference too. I foresee that they will have jobs out there that will say, hey, you're my human to my AI. I need you to read this and make sure it sounds human as well, to include resumes as well. And we'll go through all of that too, but it's gotta sound like you. So I think that's
yeah.
important as well. So
That was one of the first things I did with my Chat GPT was I uploaded everything because I have several things I've published and then been featured on. So I uploaded all that stuff that I've written and said, I want you to mimic me,
yeah,
whatever you
yeah,
respond.
yes.
Um,
Be me in this situation. Yeah,
yeah.
absolutely, 100%.
So I've done a lot of that to try to train it to speak more like me.
Yes.
Um, and I mean, it can like now they're integrated with Zapier, so you can get it
Mhm.
doing even more.
Which is so awesome. Like it
Yeah,
I think people that aren't using AI, they're going to be left behind eventually and probably more quickly than anticipated. The only career fields I really see that aren't affected at the moment are like physical career fields. You know, if they're linemen or they're working on cars, but that's coming. Like they're
yeah.
developing
I
programs
was
to
going to
make those
say, so
systems
we
easier.
have a track which is for BMET, which is biomedical engineer technicians.
Yes.
Um, and the one of the colleges that does it is run all through the first part before they get to the hands-on is all run by basically an AI.
Oh, I love that. That's so cool.
It's a
Yes.
lab. It's a virtual reality. Like they're using VR and AI to do all the training.
I love that. And
So
that just makes such a big I love it. I think it's so cool. It's so
yeah,
cool.
so even the hands-on, I think it's
Yeah.
gonna change. And I have a friend that owns a cybersecurity company, and what he tells me about AI, and
Yeah.
so it's not just you know certain roles that it's impacting. It's going to be impacting across the board. So
100%.
um, I think we've done enough selling of ChatGPT or whatever system you want to use.
Hopefully.
You know, if you guys aren't using it, I think you can tell we both believe you should be
Yes, yes,
at least
100%.
practicing and learning. So what
Yes.
would you say? So we're going to dig into resume, but what would you say are some of the 3 or 4 top uses for military members that are transitioning?
So I think probably the first part is making sure that your first your security settings in ChatGPT are set to private, right? For right now, and I'll go ahead and run you guys through how to do that, just that you share only your information and you don't share it out there. And then the second part is we have all these performance reviews, these EPBs and EPRs. If you're old like me and you have all of that, you could have your bio or any sort of your career progression, your certifications. My first advice would be to get all your information together, get all your documents in there, and make sure that they're printable PDFs. That'll be the big part about uploading documents.
Mhm.
And then from there, what you want to do is create a master resume. So start big. Start with all of your experience on a resume. It doesn't mean you're going to hand this in. All it means is that you need to sort your career and your thoughts down first. And if you have 20 or 30 years in the military, it's really hard to put all that together into 2 pages. It's okay to have a 10-page master resume. Again, you'll never turn that into an employer, but what it does is it helps formulate your career and your thoughts and your skills so you can take that information and put it on a tailored resume.
Yeah.
So always just start big, and that's all right. Nobody's seeing it. It's like a bad photograph, right? You took a bad selfie. Nobody sees that unless you post it online. So it's okay. Um, and then from that point, making sure that you are reading every single bullet that the AI takes and really read it out loud. If you can explain what you've done in an interview, that's okay. That works great. But if you're reading the bullet out loud and you can't really tell me your star statement, the situation, the task, action, and result that you were in, then you probably need to rewrite it, right? The data and language probably got mixed up and it just doesn't make sense. So you need to go ahead and make sure you're explaining that better. So,
Yeah.
all there's no how do I put this? There's no resume police. There's no one out there saying, was it 530 people you helped or 535? Nobody is out there doing that. But what you are doing as a hiring manager, right, is they're looking to seeing what you can handle so they can give you the job that they need to give you. If you've only managed 5 people and they need you to manage 20, that's going to be really different at that point, both mentally, physically, and when it comes to like mental safety in the job. So that's very different. So making sure that the numbers make sense, but not getting so caught in the weeds that you can't move forward, right? You
Yeah.
ever you ever seen a veteran and they're just done. They've
Oh,
hit a wall
it
and
all.
that's it. Yes.
Yeah.
They're like, well, technically I did this and technically I did that. And it's great to think in the technical when you get the job, but when you're searching for a job, you need to think really broadly
Yeah.
and give yourself a lot of grace when it comes to looking for stuff. So, veterans are so multi-talented. They have so much experience, so many things.
Right.
But it's good to put it all on one resume and then narrow it down. So those
Yeah.
are probably my biggest things for that. So
Okay, great. Now, outside of the resume, what else could you be using
mm.
ChatGPT for your transition?
So I actually use ChatGPT a lot for my LinkedIn post. So I
Yeah.
created a GPT and I've identified articles basically through Google Alerts, right? I have SkillBridge as an alert. I have so many. I probably have 40 alerts out there for things that make a
How
difference,
many
things
do
that are
you,
interesting.
you
There's a
probably get
lot.
20 emails a day on alerts.
I get a lot, yes. But I want to stay on top of things. I've had interviews before where they're like, "Hey, tell me what you know about the new Department of Labor rules and non-disclosure agreements." Great, that actually came up on alert, and I went ahead and read it. And it's a quick read, right? I'm not an expert
For
in it,
sure.
but I was able to speak about it on an interview. So what I do is I go to my Google Alerts and I find an article that makes sense for my feed. I take that article and I just copy it and I put it over into my Chat GPT. I have a custom one that's just for me, and it's called Three Things on LinkedIn. And it tells me the top 3 items for that. It also caters it towards transitioning military personnel and military spouses. And so I'll take that information, tweak what I need to make sure it makes sounds like my voice. I add my hashtags in and I post it, and it works great. So
Now, do you post the article inside there and then let it?
I do.
Yeah.
I post the link there, but I post my, I guess, the synopsis of what the article has. Here's the 3 things that you need to know because most people aren't reading articles. They'll just read
Sure.
the headline and they're like, "Oh, we'll see if it's interesting." Um, and I don't care if people, like it or do anything with it. My goal is to put the information out there and hopefully it serves the community I'm serving. That's really the goal. Like if it makes a difference for someone, that's a really big deal because that knowledge is power, and so they have more knowledge out there.
Yeah.
Yep. But yeah, I use it for that, and then I don't use it for any educational things, stuff like that. But I'm not in school at the moment. But I have created different ones, such as I'll go ahead and post a resume into it, and it will give me service members' top 5 careers. Right, here's 5 career paths that make sense. Here's the education and certifications they should go for. Here's the pay that you should look at as well. Sometimes if we've had a career for so long, we get a bit lost on the outside. What should I do with my life? What do I want to be when I grow up? These are really common questions. And sometimes you just need something to guide you where you need to go. So you need something to say, okay, I need to focus on that, because as service members leave, the focus of who they are internally can change, and they can start questioning a lot. Was I really good at this? Yeah, I was great at that, but what did I do? You know, there's a lot of questions that happen internally. So just want to make
Yeah.
sure it's good. Yeah.
No,
So
that's awesome. And I use it for my LinkedIn posts. Now,
yep.
you created your own GPT.
Mhm.
Do you have it to where it's monitoring kind of LinkedIn stuff or
No, no,
no?
I don't have it on that, just because uh it'll overtake my life. Linked, I can post a lot, so I have to be really careful. I have to be very selective on what makes sense. Um but no, I do evaluate it. Sometimes I'll print out my LinkedIn profile as a PDF, and I'll run it through ChatGPT and just ask for an evaluation. Where can I improve? What am I
Yep.
doing? And I'm trying to make it the best version and representation of myself, but also I use it really kind of as a mentor, right? So if
I
someone
do
says,
that
"Hey,"
too.
because
So I
I
had a really
sometimes you
good
need that.
buddy of mine who did this, because he's like me, he's been using it for 2, 3 years now. And he said, "Hey, based on everything I've had you work on, I want you to assess me."
Oh, I've done that. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yes.
I
Yes.
did that and I was just blown away. I was like, holy cow.
I love
Like
that.
it
Yes.
can, and then I asked it to do it on the reverse, so it did all the good stuff, right? Then I said,
Yeah.
all right,
Yeah.
where's my weaknesses? What do you see?
Yes.
Now how do I work on those? So
And I think mentally it helps too, because it's not a person providing a critique, right? And so I'm not defensive against this person. I'm looking at it just from a purely analytical point of view,
yeah,
right? I'm not getting mad at anybody. Not that I would, but sometimes, words can hurt.
we can take it personal.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm like, what do you mean I'm not doing the best I can? And so sometimes I feel that that's a good thing. Like I ran a photography business for a long time, and so I recently put some of my street photography on there just to see how I can improve, and it provided great critique. It did, and I didn't feel offended or defensive. I just felt like, oh, I can work on this. It was a really neutral ground, and I appreciated that.
Yeah, no,
So
it does. Actually, I've started using it for news because it doesn't matter if you're listening to CNN or Fox News, right?
yes.
It's going to be
Oh,
very biased. So
the
I've
news.
started using it when I see stuff come out, and I'm like, man, that just don't sound right.
Yeah.
And I'll take it and throw it in there and say, hey, give me the neutral, like
Yeah.
the neutral side of this.
Yes,
You know?
100%.
So
Yeah, it can feel
um,
really volatile. So yeah, I would 100% appreciate
yeah,
that.
yeah. So I mean, it's the point for everybody that's watching is that this has wide application.
Mhm.
It's really only limited by your own creativity and your own needs. So
Yes.
cool. So now you created your own GPT for resumes.
Mhm.
You should have it should have just automatically given you permission to share your
Yeah, I have
screen.
present on my side,
Yep.
if that's
Okay.
okay, perfect.
So
Yep.
you can take it from here, and I'll just ask. I'll try not to steal too much of your thunder, but
Oh,
I'll
no,
ask
you're
a
fine.
couple of questions as you're going.
No, that's perfect. Okay, so what we're gonna do, let me get out of that calendar real quick, and then let me present. And I'm gonna share my screen. Thank you for the had little tips that showed up, so this is good. Okay, perfect. Okay, let me know if you can see my screen, just
I
because
got
I
to
have it
add
on my
it.
laptop.
Hold on.
Okay. All right,
There we
no
go.
worries. All right, perfect. I'm gonna take a. I'm over in Germany, and so it's late at night, and so I'm having a cup of coffee, which is fine. I'm a little addicted. So, okay, so let's go over some housekeeping things. This is ChatGPT, right? Um, And over on the left sidebar here, you will actually have your most common GPTs. And to include, you can explore different GPTs that other people have created. And there's different rating systems out there, which is awesome. And then you'll have your history here. And I pay for the Chat GPT Pro just because I use it all the time. I need the storage with that. But you don't have to if you don't want to. There is a limit on amount of data that you can use or how many chats you can use. So, and they change that all the time. So, the other thing is for housekeeping. If you go over here to the far right, you will actually see a settings tab. And in the settings tab, you can go to security. And then where is it? Data controls, where'd it go? Oh, hold on. I think it's, oh, never mind. Personalization, data controls. There we go. And so I have improved the model for everybody. I have this off actually, just because I only want the data for me. I don't want to share it with everybody else. So that's up to you
Right.
what you'd like to do, but this just makes sense for me. So the one that we're going to use that I have here, and I'm sure you can just include this in the YouTube link, the link for it. I named it Military to Civilian Resume Maker. I am very direct. I like clear and identified things. I don't like a bunch of special names. So I just wanted to make sure people could find this. And within this portion, I've made it really simple to where all you have to do is upload documents about your career, right? And you also want to make sure that you know, have gotten rid of your socials if you need to, do whatever security makes sense for you. But you're just going to upload these. And so what I'm going to do is upload, oh, sorry, I had my photos up there. I don't know if you can see this or not. But I had, where did she go? Oh, I had it here. One second. Ah, there we go. I have data. There we go. I have several PDFs that are printable PDFs. And these PDFs are from a client of mine, and they're all going to upload here. And I make sure everything has uploaded. You can upload 10 PDFs at a time. And my recommendation is to actually do your last 5 performance reviews, and then to maybe do a sheet that had to do with your bio or your awards, stuff like that. And then from here, all you're going to do, I try to make it really simple, is just press the up arrow and it's going to calculate and actually create a civilian resume. Okay. It's going to review all this stuff. It's going to focus on all these areas. And then it's actually just going to get started. All right, I'll get started on the draft. And then I will put, please make, I always say please just in case the AI comes after me. I don't know. Right.
Have
I
you seen
saw,
the Bill Burr,
yes.
on AI?
Yep. Yeah. I think there was like a Far Side comic long ago about the robots, and it was the only lady that didn't get attacked was the one that said please and thank you. I was like, okay, good manners go a long way. So I tend to
That's
use that.
funny.
Please create a detailed, right? Because you want to, your instructions to the AI dictate what it will do. So the more detailed you are in your instructions, the more detailed the AI will be. If you just say please create a resume, it will do the simplest thing ever. It's kind of like my son, right? I love him, but you have to tell him exactly what you want done because he will do no more. He's very linear in his thinking, so thinking outside the box is hard. So if I want him to do extra, I have to include that in the first instructions that I am doing, in order for him to adjust. So, and he's a cool kid. He's 13 and he's, super tall. Detailed resume. Please create a detailed resume. So I'm just going to do something simple that we can build off of. And what it's going to do is it's going to start building a resume based on what I have included in the build that this happened. So I've worked with a lot of, how do I put this? We're going to let that build. I'm going to actually, yeah, we'll just let that build. Can I stop sharing for just a second and we'll come
Yep.
right back to it? Okay, perfect. Awesome. So I've worked with a lot of civilian recruiters, and in there, I've tried to make sure that the resumes that are being built really mimic what the civilians need. It is a different language. I call it like speaking Canadian, right? In the military, we're like America, and then civilians are like, whoa, hold on. Yes, that's
Yep.
good, but also, and so what I have found is that there's certain language that can sound really boisterous in a resume, highly accomplished, best at what I do, and so forth. It can sound to the point of being arrogant, and we want to be really careful in the way that we're representing ourselves. Nobody wants to
Mhm.
hire someone who is arrogant, right, anymore. We want to
Yep.
hire people that are team players, and you're showing that in your resume. Your resume is a product of who you are and your personality as well. So we want to be really, really careful as veterans is to make sure we're taking away a bit of the EPR, right, language, and we are moving more towards civilian language.
Absolutely.
Additionally, a lot of times civilians don't know what we did, right? I could say, "Hey, I'm over at Ramstein." Cool. Where is
Where's
that?
that?
Absolutely, because only a very small portion of the U.S. population actually knows what the military does. And so we need to take that into consideration.
Well, even when you look at just the military itself, right? Like
Yes, yes,
like how many of us know what the hell people do in the Air Force? The
absolutely.
rating
The
system
chair
is
force,
completely
right? Like,
different.
yes,
Yeah.
or
Right.
the Marines, or all of that. There's
And
stigmas
even
that
when you
happen.
tell me what you did, a lot of times I'm like, okay, so what did you actually do? Like,
Absolutely, yes.
and that's inside the context of everybody being in the military.
Yes, absolutely. And it's no detriment against anybody in the service. It's just you have to recognize the other side of the conversation.
Yeah.
If you want to be hireable, you have to show that you're hireable. Not that you only know one thing, but that you were movable and adaptable. So in the resumes, I actually have it to where I'll have a bit of a brief base description, like, all right, Ramstein Air Force Base is responsible for this, and then I will have something that states, all right, this is what I did in context to that, right?
Yeah.
So it just provides a good overall, this is what my company does. I've found more success with resumes like that because you are not causing a reason for doubt. As you're reading from top to down, oh, I can kind of understand what you're talking about, that you've handled this, not so much military jargon where it's unreadable, I guess
Yeah.
is a good way of putting it. So let me go back and check. And okay, this is perfect. I will go back and share really quick. And okay, here we go. All right. So let me know when you can see that.
We can see it.
Okay, perfect. So as it starts out, this will start out here. IT personnel, it will have how many years of experience, right? It's putting everything together. Has the technical skills, which is really important because this will be for an IT resume. And then here we go. Okay, so United States Air Force, right? Where the location is at, various locations. Sometimes this will happen. And so what I'll do is I'll actually say name each base, right? And state the location at that. Additionally, what I did within this military to civilian resume maker is I actually had it identify the keywords first and then what a person did within those keywords. And that's basically how an EPR or OPR is written. However, the keywords make a difference when it comes to tracking systems or looking at job roles. When you're looking at a role, especially for a posting, right? The job postings are posted for the job seeker. They are posted there to say, this is exactly what we're looking for. Show me that you have this. They're meant to have keywords, your KSAs, your indicators, and so forth. So if they're looking for a project manager, right, I'm going to go
Yeah.
ahead and right here, it says project leadership. I may change that to project management because leadership and management are going to be interchangeable right here.
Right.
Um, these keywords are going to add up when it comes to the resume being turned in. But for right now, it's just a master resume. Show me your keywords, what you've done, and what were your results. If there are no results in your resume, then it sounds like a job description. And so results are really, really important in resumes. For example, okay, if I posted a job description and it said, provide advanced troubleshooting IT support to users. If it was just that, that's a job description. This portion here, this resulting, this resulting lets me know what you did with what you have. And so
Right.
it's so important to show results. In interview panels that I've been on, I will ask a question and someone will tell me what they've done, but they don't tell me the results of what happened. And I don't care if the results are good or bad. I want to know that you know your end product, what you do with what you had, right? And so with this, it's really, really important to go ahead and make sure everything is there. This is not a highly detailed resume. So what we're going to do is we're going to add in a little bit more here. And I may need more information from Shelby as well. One of her documents didn't come through, so that makes a big difference. Here I have the education portion, which is important to include her, right? We don't know how to put our military training in. This is part of that education. And her awards, I had it spell out the awards basically for what you were honored for or what you did. Military awards work great on federal resumes.
Not
They
so
do
much.
not work that great on civilian resumes
I,
unless you
I tell
provide an
when I'm
explanation.
doing my LinkedIn piece, I tell them the only awards you should put up are things that are above normal. Bronze Star,
Absolutely.
Legion
Yes.
of Merit.
Yes. Something big. Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. If I'm looking for a team leader, I think a team award makes a difference. But if it's a quarterly award, I'm going to think, why did she get the yearly award? You know? Um, and so I want to make sure like the awards make sense. A lot of people, when they leave, they know that they've worked hard to get those awards. And so putting them on a master resume helps. It helps it mentally to say, yes, I did achieve this, but understanding that it may not work well in every single job that you
Sure.
apply for, that's really important too. So,
Yeah.
and then professional certifications and professional development. What I want to do is I actually want to go ahead and increase this portion here, right? And so what I want to do is make sure this sounds better right here. So I will say, please provide a more detailed, how do I put this? Job. Uh, Now I can't spell, and I'm going to let you know that right now. Description. Oh, but I did spell that right. Spelling is not my forte. Anybody who's ever seen me on a webinar for any reason will be like, wow. I'm okay with that because I have the computer, and I know that sounds terrible, but again. So, more detail to her jobs include the location and a base description. Okay, so include, yes. I typed too fast. Okay, so we're going to let that run for a second just to be able to provide, I want more of a description of what she's doing. When it comes to, there we go, and now we have Ramstein in first base. Okay, perfect. When it comes to ChatGPT, it's just like building a cake, right? You can't just put one ingredient and say it's going to be great. You need to add in all the ingredients and then you need to mix it together appropriately. You have to make sure everything makes sense for what you need to use. And for me, I needed more details. It gave me an overall detail, which is great, but now I need more detail about what's happening. And
Yeah.
so for here, having this base description right here, right, lets me know as an employer who may not have any contact, right, overseas or any military base. I know now that Ramstein, is the head, right, for U.S. forces for Europe. That's a pretty big deal. It controls this. It has a base equipment, extensive, and it supports over 16,000 personnel. It actually has a lot more than that. It has almost 50,000, but maybe it only supports 16,000 in the wing that she is in the cybersecurity position, because there's different, wings, all that good stuff. So, okay, so looking at this, it provides a better description, right? And then here's the next base. Here's Joint Base Andrews. So you may need to ask this GPT to provide more details for what you want. For right now, what I'm going to do, oh, here we go. And David Moss, see how it gave more detail,
Yeah.
which is great. That's all we needed. Do not get frustrated with a GPT if it just gives you one answer and it's your first answer.
Right.
It's right. You kind of have to interrogate it, right? Well, tell me more. What are we doing? Where'd Johnny go? No, I'm just kidding. You
Mhm.
have to ask it more questions to get where you want to go. And it is happy to do this. You are not wearing a system out. You want to keep going. If anything, you're going to wear yourself out. So you do want to make sure you're asking the right questions. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to copy part of this. You can also put it all together if you want, but I find that this actually works really great. I'm going to take this first part here and copy this. And I have a Word document. Can you see the Word document come up?
Nope, not yet.
Nope.
You have
Okay.
to select it.
I have to select it. Okay, perfect. So what I'm going to do, and you can, so let me go through something here really, really quick at the very bottom. These controls right here, right at this, can you see this bottom portion
Yeah.
right there? So this control will actually read you your items out loud. I am an audible learner, right? I learn better by listening than I do by reading. And so sometimes when I need to absorb information in a highly detailed manner, I will actually have the GPT read it out loud to me, and that helps me understand things better.
Yeah.
If you are having your resume and your bullets and you need to make sure it makes sense, have it read it out loud to you. And if you're
Yeah.
listening to it and you're like, wow, in an interview, I have no idea what this person said, don't use it. Go ahead and change it. That's okay. There's no rules out there how many times you're going to change your resume. You'll probably
Right.
change it 100 times. That is absolutely fine. You can copy the text as well, but I find that there's discrepancies in copying it. They have extra asterisks, there's extra words, so I don't copy anything. I manually copy and paste things. And then you can tell the GPT if you like it. And so if you like it, it will start generating more items like that. So I've tried to fine tune this enough, but again, it's not perfect. So, um, and so let me share the Word document. I'll show you guys how to formulate this. Uh, I'm going to, it's not slides. I'm sorry, I'm still learning this. It's a Word document and window, entire screen. It doesn't have
If
the
you do an
Word.
entire screen and then pop your Word document up, it'll come up.
Okay, perfect. That works for me. Okay, awesome. So, okay, so now you guys see the whole thing. All right, so can you see this?
Just 1 second. There we go.
Awesome. Thank you so much. Okay, so what I've done, there's a few housekeeping rules on this for my resume. The first thing is you want to make sure your font is readable. And so I go ahead and make my layout narrow, right? I want to use as much space as I can. And then I make my font readable. Times is fine, but I actually find that I like Garamond better. I just find this the most readable font. And then I always make it 11 for some reason. I find 10 is too small, stuff like that. So I'm getting rid of any fluff. So any of these lines that don't make sense. Additionally, I'm going to just get rid of, there we go. Well, we'll just leave it. She's fine. Okay. So here for a civilian resume, I want to move things in towards the middle. And there we go. Perfect. I will have her fill in information. But for right now, if you press Shift F3, there you go. I'm a big person on shortcuts. That will capitalize any verbiage that you have. I'm not trying to overwhelm a page where I'm like this, like notice my name. It's not like that. Please don't, because capital words and large letters, you are
Right.
shouting at people. So
Mhm.
just calm down. I usually just do 16. I think that's fair. It looks very professional. Additionally, if you press Control E, that will go ahead and then Shift F3. That will capitalize things that you need. All right. We're going to get rid of highly skilled because, again, we don't want to shout at people. And technical skills are fine. We can leave that there. I'm going to adjust that in a minute. And then I'm going to go over and just copy the information. I'm not going to, well, actually, since I'm sharing, you guys can see this. Okay. So now I'm copying over my professional items here, the professional experience. And here we go. And we'll just copy over these. And we'll go back over here. And this, it's actually makes it nice to have everything there that you need. So there's certain things that I want to make sure that it's easy to read. I don't need to state the position. This is the position, right? I don't need
Correct.
to state the location. This is the location as well. And I'll go back through her information and get the dates too. So if you press Control B, you can go ahead and bold items that make sense. And then for items right here, I'm just going to make these bullets. Now, again, I don't like wasting space in a resume. I actually don't like all of this extra space. So what I'm doing is I'm right clicking, going to paragraph and click this don't add space right there. And it just tightens it up. It's not unreadable, right? But I want to use the space that I need to put things in. Additionally, what I'm doing is I'm highlighting keywords because you only have maybe 10 seconds with every hiring manager
Right.
because that's it.
Making
That's
them
all you have. Yes,
bold.
absolutely. I just make it bold. Oh, you have network security management. Awesome. They're looking through things saying, okay, what can I do? And then they're like, okay, let's put it over. All of this information I have to verify. So I am going to go in and make sure everything makes sense. I don't want to waste anyone's time with any of that or anything like that. I just want to make sure like the basic formatting is there. Do not get fancy with your resume. Please do not get fancy. Do not add colors. Do not add weird lines. don't add a picture unless you're being hired in a foreign country. If you want to be hired within Europe or Asia, then they have standards and they have pictures. But over in the US, do not add photos. It will have a bias against it, and no hiring manager wants that. Control E and Shift.
So interesting.
Yes, they have a very, very different system. And I have a great recruiter that I work with over here who wants to hire military personnel, but it is through the European portion. So they work with people on visas. So yes, so make sure you do your research, but no photos. And then what else I like to do is if you see over here on the edge, right, there's all these indents, right, the way that it's justified. What I do is actually take this and I will go up instead of being aligned left, I actually do full justified. And I find that it's just cleaner. It runs from edge to edge. It looks like a very professional document. I feel like I can go ahead and present this. Again, I'll be adding in dates and so forth. And then I will be changing up this skill section as well.
Nice.
But it's starting to look like a resume. It hasn't taken me much time, which is really important. We're going to go back to ChatGPT. And when you are getting hired, right, there's a difference between your hard skills and your soft skills. But what's happening now in the resume world is that the bosses are coming down, they're saying they must have A, B, and C for experience. They must have Salesforce experience. They must work with healthcare systems. Whatever the hard skill is, that's a hard skill for the boss too. That's a hard spot. So they need to have that. And the recruiters are sitting there saying, okay, I'm not going to look at any resumes unless they have this skill. So again, looking at the job description makes a really big difference because they're telling you what they need. When I go through a resume, I said, list the top 10. You could say 10 or 9. I kind of like 10 hard skills. And then I put just the list because I don't need a description. I need just the list. I need to get to the point. I'm going to describe in the bullets what I've done. And all of this needs to make sense. So cybersecurity protocol and compliance. Yep, she's got that. Network infrastructure management. So I need to make sure all of these make sense. So what I'm doing is I'm going to copy all of this. And I'm going to go up here to where I had this technical skills. And I'm actually just going to post this here. Okay. Oh, Lord help me. 1 second. I right click and I will paste just text only. And this doesn't need to be bolded. So we're going to go ahead and get rid of that and just not bold it. Additionally, I try to take the smallest text and move it up a bit. Now she does have a top secret, which I think is really important. Okay. And that did not show up. So what we're going to do is put if the job requires it, right? We're just building her master resume. Secret, I know I spelled it wrong. Top secret, SEI. What is it called? Top secret.
SCI, well, it depends. She could be
Yes.
SCI poly. She could be, there's a couple of different variations.
With it, yes. I'm actually just going to put top secret clearance and then fix that. My brain is not working. Again, don't pay attention to my spelling, please. My husband always laughs at me. He goes, Micah. I'm like, I know. Okay. And then I leave a room for a date, right? Date. And she can go ahead and fill that in. Anything she needs to put in, I'm going to highlight, which is Shift Control H. Oh, wait, never mind. It is, we're just going to manually highlight it there. So, and then I'm going to take out something that doesn't make sense. That one, she can express that later. Okay, from here, I'm going to change my layout and put 2 columns in. Okay. Additionally, I'm going to add bullets right here. And see how this has went off, right? You can adjust things to where it makes more sense, but there we go. And so now it looks really clean. If I'm looking at a resume, I need it to be clean. It needs to make sense. Okay, perfect. All right, so we have what she's good at. We have her professional summary. Now, she may be known as a network operations manager or a security specialist or items like that. What I'm going to do is say, given her experience. What is the best title? What is the best civilian title? And so civilian is really important because we're distinguishing going from military to civilian. And you just ask questions and it will tell you why. And based on the conversations with her, we're going to choose cybersecurity operations manager because that is what she wants to do. And she's
Yeah.
skilled in it. Her education will be fine. So instead of professional summary, we're going to put that. What I would recommend is that whatever the title is of the job is to put that there. So if they're asking for IT operations manager, put IT operations manager. If they're asking for IT, if they're asking for cyber, put cyber. So it all do what they ask you to do. Is
Yeah.
all this making sense? Is this all right?
It totally makes sense to me.
Okay, perfect. So, there we go. And again, sometimes when you get too close to things, you just have to go back. There we go. And I always try to mimic the, oh, that looks bold. Let's see. That is bold. Ah, I know what happened. Control V. There we go. Cybersecurity specialist, and there we go. So contact information. If you are overseas and you are applying for a job in the US, put a US number.
Yeah.
If you do not, it happens all the time. If you do not care where you live, then put the location of the company because you're going to move there anyways. Never cause a reason for doubt.
Yeah.
Right. And so if you tell me you're in Germany and you don't have a US number, I'm going to skip over it because you're not here. Right.
Yeah.
Even though it may take a while to hire someone, if you're not here, I need to get the job hired going because
Yep.
that is what I'm paid to do. So,
Really.
yes. So the other thing portion that we need to add in is her education. I know she has a lot more education than this, but we're just, for example, we're just going to maneuver this in. And so I'll put, we actually have her education right up here, which is great. And actually, I'm going to put this, please list her education, separate military education from civilian, and add certs. Oh, I need to go back to school. No wonder my mom was like, "Oh my God, Micah." My mom is a
Now you
retired
know why
command.
you joined the military.
Right, yeah. She's a retired command chief. My mom is just a badass, and so I'm sure there are moments she's like, "Oh God."
He's like, whose child are you?
Absolutely, I'm gonna hear this. That's okay. That's absolutely fine.
It's
In the
funny.
cyber world, certifications are more important. There is a difference between being certified and having a certificate. Being certified means
Yep.
that you've taken a test to show you that you are good to go on this, and your employer can entrust you based on this test. They can entrust you with the roles and responsibilities. Being certified does mean that you have gained knowledge, but it does not mean you are experienced in. So
Right.
knowing the difference in that does matter. I do have service members that get confused on that, and that's absolutely fine. But I want to just make sure that that's very, very clear that certificates and certifications are very different. All right. So what we're going to do here is we are going to, we don't need to say civilian education, right? Because we already have education here. There's no need to be redundant on that. However, okay, we do want to identify the education. Do not put the dates that you graduated college. Ageism is very real.
Yep.
It does happen. People do not get hired a lot because they're like, oh, you graduated from college in 1993. They're going to think, well, why are you working still? Even though you may love working, they don't know the reasons, or you may have bought, a multi-million-dollar ranch in Montana and you need to pay for it. Whatever the reasons are, right? It's
Right.
important to know that. However, so not putting dates is important. If you are doing a federal resume, you absolutely need to put those dates because they are technical resumes.
Right.
They are written completely differently. So here we're just going to shift F3 and then we're going to do control. There we go. And so what I want to do is I want to list my certifications. Okay. See how it says this is recommended but not obtained? I need to delete this. only put the experience that you actually have, right? And so right now, this is all that I'm showing. And I will ask her questions. I'll say, hey, can you send me your other certifications and so forth? If that's all she has, then that's all we're putting right there. When you apply for a job, if you are within 1 month of graduating, maybe a couple months, I think it's okay to put that you're about to graduate. But if you're 6 months out and the job requires you to have that education, don't put it on there. You're not there yet. So you do need to make sure that you've completed who you are at the time of application. Unless there is a program, like there's certain government programs that say if you're a recent graduate or just about to graduate, then go ahead and apply for this. So it's really important to read the job descriptions. Let's see here. Okay. And again, we're just going to take all this, unbold it, because there's no point in that. And I like to save space. They may ask, all right, where did you learn this and so forth. The company that she's applying for may actually have different like roles or how do I put this? You may be able to collect the courses that they have. I doubt it, but just in case. So again, certifications are more important. So we're going to put certifications here and hopefully she'll have more. So I'm leaving space for this and I'm just going to create room. Hold on one second. Okay. More certs. And I will highlight this so we know to add more. It doesn't take much to build a resume with AI. It's actually super easy. You just have to add in the documents and adjust as needed. So, and then like we would add an award section, all that towards the bottom, but you just need to keep adding things in. I'm going to show you a resume that is completed. Let's do William. He's a pretty good guy. There we go. And this is Williams, right? And so same format, where the base is and so forth, what he's done, all of this, education and certifications, what he did. I added a description of what the program was just in case, and then added the awards and honors section. And this all came from ChatGPT, just making sure that it aligns. His career wasn't crazy long. He needs to add more information here, right? But this is all that he gave me, but it still has, hey, he's led a team, he's done asset management, he's done leadership as well. So this just kind of adds everything in. It's a good starting point.
Yeah.
What questions do you have? I kind of was talking for a long time.
That's great. And this resume writing was the top concern of transitioning vets in our group poll.
Oh yeah, 100%. There's a panic with it. Absolutely. What I would tell people is, first, don't start too late. Really, if you're starting a year out, ooh, that's cutting it really close.
The years go so fast.
Yes, it does. I had a service member come in, and my heart just broke because he gets out in a couple months, and he's like, "What can I do?" And I'm like, "Whew. Okay, we got to work hard like right now." So, and he asked about SkillBridge and other opportunities, and I was just very blunt. I said, "You're too late, right? You don't focus your energy on things that aren't going to work. Focus your energy on supporting your family. Please start early. Everything from your resume transfer over to LinkedIn. Your resume has to match LinkedIn 100%. It does matter. And then reach out for mentorship. There's so many people in the world that want to help veterans. They really do. But people kind of like, oh, they won't help me. They absolutely will help you. They do. I had a client when I worked in Idaho who was very introverted. He just had a hard time getting out there. And it happens a lot. He probably was in cyber now that I think of it. There are a lot of them are introverted. So it's a perfect career field. But he went ahead and I said, on LinkedIn, I want you to reach out to 20 people within 6 months. I said, ask him for a coffee cup conversation and just say, I really like what you're posting. I like the company that you're working at. And then don't tell anything about yourself. Just ask them questions. And within there, it will start, that conversation will start building. He had a job within like 2 months. It was crazy.
Yeah.
So yeah, you just have to get yourself out there. It's hard, but just push yourself out there. Yeah.
Yep. All right. Thank you very much for your time and going through this, guys. If you haven't started experimenting with ChatGPT, you should be. There's a host of benefits, and inside the group, she has a video that's tagged at the top of the group where you can see this. It also has her GPT link in there so that you can use this. All of these resources are available in the hub.
Awesome. Thank you so much. Hopefully I didn't talk too much.
Not at all. Not at all.
I tend to go
Thank
on
you.
let's do it. No worries. I'll talk to you soon.
Talk to you soon.